Very shortly, there is going to be a courtroom showdown between law enforcement and the father of a 22-month-old little boy, Cooper. According to police, his father, Ross Harris, left him knowingly, is the theory, in a hot car to bake alive until he died of heat stroke. Now, the medical examiner has already stated his findings are consistent with hypothermia. What's going to happen at the hearing today is typically called a bind-over hearing. Some people call it a PC, probable cause hearing. And a magistrate judge, in this case it's Frank Cox, he's a chief magistrate, former prosecutor in that jurisdiction, is going to hear the bare bones of this case. The only burden is on the state. The defense is not to put up any evidence at this time for the bind-over hearing. At that time, Judge Cox is going to determine which court the case goes to. In other words, is there enough for it to be a felony case to go to a grand jury? I suspect he will bind the case over to Superior Court. At that time, it will go through indictment phase and then be sent to a petit jury, a jury of 12, for trial. The charges so far are felony murder and child cruelty neglect. Which simply means that a death occurred in the commission of a felony, that felony being child neglect or abuse. Now, what I expect them to put up is enough evidence to show intent, because cops have leaked that this is a case that has shocked their conscience. That suggests that this is premeditated. They're going to be focusing on the fact that the father, Ross Harris, took the child into Chick-fil-A and the child was alive and well. And then just 3 minutes later, by the time he got to work at Home Depot, he had forgotten the child in 3 minutes, and the child was alive and well, talking, and he forgot him. That's kind of hard to believe. Also, evidence that the father, Ross Cooper, came out to the car for some reason to put something in the car at lunchtime. He didn't notice the child. And what was so important that he had to bring to the car at lunchtime? Or was he checking to see if the child was dead or alive? I keep saying the state's going to put up a bare bones case at this hearing. Why? Why put all your cards on the table now? Because the defense is going to be there. They don't want to subject all their witnesses to cross-examination and turn this into a fishing expedition for the defense. So I predict they will put up one witness, maybe two, probably the lead detective, who can and will testify to hearsay under the course of conduct hearsay exception as to what he or she has learned throughout the entire investigation, to basically sum it up and serve it up to the judge on a silver platter. Then that lead detective, who will be a seasoned detective, will undergo cross-examination by the defense. After that, there may be a bond hearing. You can get a bond on murder in the state of Georgia, although it's rare. It can happen. Also, Ross Harris will have to put up, under a new law just passed July 1, going into effect July 1, that he would have to put up 15% of the bond amount. So say he got $1 million bond, he'd have to put up $150,000 cash. That's going to be a tough thing for him to do. It's very possible the judge won't give a bond at all. What do I see as the key factors here? That the father, in just 3 minutes, forgot his son was in the back seat. That the father came out of Home Depot at lunchtime and went into his car and still didn't notice the boy. Were there texts between the father and the mother during the day? How's Ross doing? How's Cooper doing? Did he get into daycare okay? Did he eat very much at Chick-fil-A? Was he happy? What was he saying? Did he get car sick? I mean, a plethora of possibilities of texts between the mom and dad. Not only that, the computer searches have come under fire. The father, Ross Harris, and the mother both state that they did searches on their computers recently as to the temperature needed in a hot car for a child to die. Many people believe that that signifies intent to commit a crime. You do a computer search on your child dying in a hot car, then your child dies in a hot car. Coincidence? Probably not. Thank you.